like it before.
In 1941, the horror genre was dying, doomed by the advent of talkies and musicals. But Universal Studios, whose fortune began with monsters, desperately needed a low-budget hit. They took a chance on the son of a legend and a new kind of bloodthirsty beast, the Wolfman.
Universal needed a new horror star. Lon Chaney Jr. was perfect. He had built-in name recognition because he was the son of Lon Chaney Sr., the great star of the silent screen.
Born Creighton Chaney, the tall, husky youth had resisted the lure of Hollywood until after his father's death. He spent 7 years in bit parts before his break finally came in a stage classic.
He played Lenny in Of Mice and Men on stage and on the screen, and he played it for tears. He wanted to go for the pathos of the character. The Lenny-type sympathy he goes for is a big part of why he's so good in The Wolfman.
Lon and the rest of the cast were signed to the production before there was even a script. The writer, Kurt Siodmak, was given 10 short weeks to come up with a screenplay before the first day of shooting. He immersed himself in werewolf legend, then let his imagination run wild.
He developed the whole werewolf lore, the rules governing the full moon and how to kill a wolf.
A werewolf can be killed only with a silver bullet, or a silver knife, or a stick with a silver handle.
And he even invented a werewolf jingle.
Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright.
People think that that's taken from European folklore. Actually, it's just Hollywood corn written by Kurt Siodmak.
B-movie director and producer George Wagner was used to low budgets. With only $180,000, almost 1/10 of the budget of an A-list movie, he worked every inch of the Universal soundstage.
The Wolfman has wonderful art direction. Boyle brought in dead trees from the back lot and painted them with glycerin so they would shine a little bit. And they got a lot of low-lying fog onto the soundstage to give just a little more eerie atmosphere. And when they had to shoot in a different part of the forest, they would just turn the trees around and that same spot would look like a whole different area.
But it was Chaney's transformations from man to beast which required the greatest artistry and patience. The actor would come to set at 2 a.m., where his body would be locked into a position from which he was not allowed to move for the next 22 hours. The cameras would roll a few frames of film at a time as the makeup and hair from a yak were added bit by painstaking bit.
The first step in the process was to put a big snout on Chaney. And after that, they would put more hair on his face. They would give him a big wig, almost like a helmet that would go over his head, and fangs. And Chaney hated that amount of makeup. He said one day on the set, if I ever get my hands on the guy who wrote this script, I'm going to hit him over the head.
But Lon had no time for revenge, as the shooting was finished in less than a month. During the few short weeks of editing, disaster struck the real world at Pearl Harbor.
Universal was very nervous because with all the real horrors going on, they were very leery about what audiences would think about artificial Hollywood horror movies. It turns out that their fears were not justified. They had a huge hit on their hands.
You can see The Wolfman this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern and then again at 1:15 a.m. Eastern during AMC's MonsterFest.